It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. It's another weekend. It's another chance for you to learn everything that you can possibly learn about real estate, the market as a whole, the Myrtle Beach area in general, and everything, whether you're buying or selling. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll talk to Blake in just a second. But first of all, I want to give you some contact information in case you'd like to get in touch with Blake Sloan, Sloan Realty Group. It's really easy to do. The phone number is 808-SOLD, S-O-L-D. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go online to blakesloan.com. blakesloan.com will give you that information several times over the next 30 minutes, because when you listen in, you probably have some questions. You don't want to talk to Blake, but right now, Blake's going to talk to you about it. Blake.
Hey, good morning. Awesome. Glad to be here. I'm back. Actually, last week I had to run a rerun, so that kind of ran into our streak a little bit, but pause about that. I had an awesome last-minute opportunity to go meet and spend some time with Damon John from Shark Tank, so really cool stuff there. We're going to talk about that today. We'll talk about, obviously, my experience there, talk about some of the biggest takeaways I learned from a true mogul and the shark who's worth over $250 million. It was very, very enlightening for me. And so we got some really cool things, kind of the biggest nuggets I learned from being out there in California with him. Also some with the brand new numbers from last month's market numbers in, with what that means, how it was actually interesting this month or this past month. We had a slight decline in some areas, so I'll talk about that, where that is, what that means as well. Also talk about some new success stories. We're still crushing it. A lot of great stuff going on with us. Another new article came out from National Association of Realtors, where we were named, Myrtle Beach was named one of the top boom towns in America, and one of the top 30 there, which is great news. Also, one thing I learned out there, being out there in California, we're talking about, is the importance of having guests. So next week we're going to have a guest on our show. One of the things we talked about was just having different guests different weeks. So next week we have one of our insurance ninjas on here. So everybody mark your calendars for next week. You couldn't make it on today. So we're having on for next week for sure. Talk about insurance and the stuff he's having there, how to get the best deal, what he covered on, some pitfalls, things like that. So we'll talk about that and go over some smoking hot deals too.
All right. Well, a lot of stuff to get to, as you said. But as we start off every week, we want to just introduce you to people who might be tuning in for the very first time. I know there are some. He's been called the real estate whiz kid, this guy over here. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, NBC. You've seen him on Fox and Friends, Realtor magazine as well, other national publications too. Also, personally endorsed Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. You've heard those commercials right here on this very radio station. Now, one of those by itself would be, nice, but you put them all together, it's unprecedented, definitely. Now, we always find out also, Blake, about your trademark systems that you've developed for both buyers and sellers. And again, even if this is your first time or your 14th time of listening to this radio show, we need to kind of pound it home on what your trademark systems are and what basis is behind it.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that even our clients we meet with in the office or meet with face-to-face, we go through that because it's so, so important. So I always, like I said, I made a promise to myself a long time ago to make sure we reiterate that in every single show, that the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller or a home buyer in today's marketplace is determined by one thing. It's determined by the agent that you choose, period. That's it, right? Not the house color, not the wall color, not the carpet. It's 100% determined by the agent that you choose. And that's kind of the most important thing there. That's what determines your failure or success in today's marketplace, where there's a 50% failure rate. So what we did, and kind of the whole fact is, there's 118 variables from A to Z in selling a house. So depending if those variables are handled correctly, right, each one is handled correctly. It's like dominoes. If it's handled correctly, it puts more money in your pocket. Now, if one of those is handled incorrectly, or a few of those handled incorrectly, that takes money out of your pocket if you are to get to the closing table successfully, right? A lot of times there's so many that are handled incorrectly, they don't even get to the closing table. So that's kind of important there to remember from that aspect. So what we did is we identified all of them first, right, 118 of them, and reverse engineered a system in place to create maximum leverage for our client in every single one of those variable points, so we stacked the dominoes. For that, we call it the guaranteed sold system. It's the only proven system to sell homes twice as fast and for up to 21% more money than traditional methods out there. And for the home buyers out there, we have an unfair advantage home buying system. And what it does is get you priority access to all the hottest new deals, foreclosure, distress sales, desperate sellers, access to the best financing, right, by interviewing and finding different mortgage brokers and lenders to find the most aggressive ones who win the most money for the best rate. And we do that to be able to give an ultimate competitive advantage to our buyers out there as well. And both of those are key systems that are exclusive to us here. I designed them. We license them out to other agents, other parts of the country.
All right. Well, That's a good start, but we got a long way to go, I'll tell you that. And also coming up in just a second, Blake loves the numbers, and we got a real estate update. Some of the new numbers are in. We'll get those out to you as far as things are going along the Grand Strand. And speaking of numbers, mortgage rates, some of the most important numbers you can possibly have if you're buying a new home. Anyway, that's all coming up in just a second. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake, you can. 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. And that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. It's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at Blake'sGuarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with an agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Mortgage rate information coming up in just a second. Also, the real estate numbers from around the Grand Strand. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group, the phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go online to BlakeSloan.com. The Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. What do some of the numbers look like? I know you've been waiting for them to come in. They're here.
Yes, finally, right? So got some interesting numbers this week, and it's something that we're trying to dig into to figure out exactly kind of what caused it.
All right.
So after back-to-back consecutive months, right, consistently, of growth in single-family homes and condos, sales activity actually declined last month. But the good news is it's up year-to-date. So it's kind of a dip last month. When you look at overall numbers, it's not that much of a difference. There's kind of a ton of region speculation in different parts, but so check this out. So last month, single-family and both condo sales were down. Now, kind of if you look at the year-to-date numbers, right now they're up for homes 3.9% and for condos up 4.1%. And here's the key number, right, which most people care about the most because it's always a lagging indicator. But single-family homes median sales price is up 5.9%, and that's one thing for condos is actually down 2.6%. Last month, which is crazy. So residential lot sales were down 30.8% last month. Now, we talked about it last month. It was very similar. That has a big thing to do with inventory, right, where a lot of the inventory that had places that have infrastructure in or different lots that were there, they've already been scooped up a lot of times by developers, things like that. So we'll see that continue to go up. That's why you see prices are up 11.7% for lots. So that's kind of the key number there where you're seeing that prices still rise because inventory has dried up, builders are paying more. We all remember there for a while, we talked about it where people were trying to builders or developers were trying to scoop up everything they could that was buildable, and obviously they're going through the process of doing that now. So overall numbers last month exactly, single-family sales decreased 4% last month compared to that same month last year. So we're still significantly up, where we were, 2014, things like that. Single-family was up slightly, and that has to do with seasonal increase that we always see from that basically spring to summer market that we always run into. And again, the median sales price maintained strength is at $204,830, and it's up 5.9% for the month and 7.4% for the year to date. So that's the key number there to look at. What's the price of my home? Up 5.9% last month alone, up 7.4% in 2016. Now, the one thing that we kind of speculated and talked about, a 4% drop's not that much. But that has to do with some of the inventory that's out there, right? Because a lot of inventory in kind of not the lower end, but basically the mid to 150s, to 200, that's kind of, there's not a whole lot of that out there. So that's kind of slowed down sales a little bit is what we're seeing, right? So a lot of stuff we're seeing in a minute now compared to kind of the median list price in our MLS, the median sales price, there's a lot of stuff that's actually overpriced out there that needs to be corrected that has not been corrected and come down to to the actual buyer demand. So that's something we'll talk about as well. Median sales price in new construction was down slightly, but up in resale activity. So that's kind of the one thing where resale prices are going up. That a little bit has to do with inventory as well. So average list sale price ratios, 95%, stayed flat with the same month last year. So for example, all the homes that are listed at 100,000 selling for 95,000 on average from that aspect. So that shows you the demand's still pretty good. Condo sales decreased last month 4.8%, but are up 4.1% year to date compared to last year. So that's kind of good news there from that standpoint. Condo inventory increased slightly in March, but is still well below 2015 levels. And that's all, like, again, a seasonal thing run to. Median sales price decreased 2.6% last month to 112,000 even, but it's up 3.6% for the year. So it's great news kind of overall for the ultimate price in what we're seeing. So we're seeing a battle right now, kind of inventory, floor of inventory, right, versus kind of what's out there. And we're seeing that like in the first-time home buyer range. Anything out there is priced very low, or let's say it's not, doesn't mean it's priced cheap. It's just not in the high-end range. We're seeing that move very, very quickly, right? Anything 150 and below is going instantly on the marketplace, right? Because payments are so low. We're even seeing that 150, 200 kind of see the same type of thing there, at least what we're seeing in our office as well. We talked about residential lot sales there. The prices were up 11.7% for the month. They're flat year to date. So that's kind of one of the key things here. Break into the actual numbers. So kind of the key thing to look at, the median price right now for sold properties, $204,830. Talked about that. Now, here's a key number to kind of look at. If you look at median list price, $254,900, right? So there's a big significant difference there, about what, $50,000 just about, and what you're seeing, what's the median list price versus the median sold price. So that goes back to one of our biggest struggles as an agent, is to get the homeowner to be realistic about price, right? There's kind of a joke around, I don't care what the comps say, but my house is special, right? So it's always like that, and that's because there's emotional attachment to that. And that's because, and one thing we always separate that, where how we do pricing from a consultative standpoint. So we only consult you based on what the comps and the proof is out there, but a lot of times it's hard to kind of justify that, where everyone feels like they're going to get that lucky, just like when you buy a lottery ticket at, the gas station when it's, 400 million, everybody knows they're going to win that thing, but they wake up next morning and didn't win anything, right? It's the same thing you kind of run into where everybody wants to get that lucky part. So it's important to make sure you're looking at realistic here, and you can see a big difference between the median list price at $250,900 versus $204,000. There's a $50,000 difference in those. So how are we looking right now inventory-wise? Right now there's 5,406 homes on the market in Horry and Georgetown County, 4,662 in Horry, and 744 in Georgetown. From that aspect. Now, you're kind of seeing that breakdown there from condos, a little separate for condos total. We're at 4,140 condos total in Horry, Georgetown County. The majority of those are obviously in Horry County, which is 3,765 to 375 in Georgetown. Just not a whole lot of condos in Georgetown County compared to, obviously, our part, right? So that's kind of one thing we're looking at for lots. There's a total of 2,248 lots in the market right now, 1,577 in Horry County, 671 in Georgetown County. Kind of run into that same thing. So that's something to just kind of look at interesting-wise from the inventory standpoint. So if you look at inventory right now versus same month last year, there's 5,406 homes. There's 5,316 last year. So that kind of is not a huge jump at all from that standpoint. You're seeing the condo part is actually less by about, they're kind of less significantly where they were. Here's where I was getting to the number here. So closed sales. So we saw a 4% decrease last month. So last year there was 572 sales last month. This year, obviously same month, 549. So it's not significant. We're talking about 23 different home sales. So it's not like a huge difference there. That kind of goes back to the 23 homes that were usually kind of that really affordable range that are no longer there. They've been scooped up. Prices have risen up a little bit. So that's kind of why we're also seeing prices rise at the same time we see that sale go down there. If you look at year-to-date sales, though, we're at 1,432. Over last year is 1,378. So we're seeing a big difference there from that standpoint as well. And so year-over-year is performing pretty well. Same thing there we're running to for prices. Last year, median price was 193. And right now we're at 204. So we're basically, $10,000 difference in prices. So if you had a $200,000 house, we're $10,000 more right now than it was last year on average. Now, next week, we'll kind of dig into the micro market numbers, and you'll see it's all over the place, right? Some neighborhoods, some areas outperforming the other ones with 2 and 3, 4x. So that's kind of one of the key things to kind of look into and know what you're looking at from that standpoint. Again, we talked about the average list sale price ratio. Percent of the market that's construction, new construction, right, versus resale. 66% were resale, 34% new construction last month is pretty much dead on to where it was the same month last year, and we're kind of seeing that same thing overall from that standpoint. So that's kind of some key numbers. We're seeing the condos there as well. That's just kind of the general overview. So what's that mean? Sales are still strong. Right now is the hot time in the market. If you're thinking about selling, you've been listening, now's your time. You don't want to miss that boat. You don't want to wait till midsummer into fall to start doing that, because here's one thing that my team's run into. We have people we've been talking to for months and months and months who've been on our websites, who we've been going back and forth from New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all these places they've been searching for months. They're studying, going through everything, and they're coming in town to look at stuff. All my agents are out right now showing properties, people who are in town they've been talking to for months and months. So they're combining their basically little mini vacation to their searching and buying homes. A lot of them are saying, hey, we got to buy something before we leave town, obviously. So that's kind of what we're into. So that's why you don't want to miss that. There's so many people that have been researching for 6 or 8 months through the winter, right? And they're coming down to the spring market, summer market to buy something. So if you're thinking about selling, you've been waiting, listening, if your house on the market before, call me. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till now. Just call me right now at 843-808-SOLD. Save me on your phone. Tell your friends about it too. If you have a friend that had the house on the market, didn't sell, it was unsellable, we sell homes all the time that were not able to get success with somebody else for the same price, in a lot of cases more.
Right.
So it's not just a price drop or anything. It has to do with execution and how your agent operates and their proven people system that they have.
All right. Well, what about mortgage rates? What are they looking for?
They've been kind of all over the place too. So right now, we're at, last week for a 30-year fix, we're at 3.64%. Right now for a 30-year fixed rate, which is pretty much conventional what everybody gets, 3.73%. It just jumped up slightly, not a whole lot. The 15-year fixed rate right now is at 3%. So we're still fairly close to basically the 52-week low, which is 2.90. A 30-year FHA is 3.30%, still ridiculously low. It's up right now from it was just the 52-week low last week as well. A jumbo, right? This is a great thing here. Anything over $417,000 is at 3.64%. So we've been going for months and months now that the jumbo loan is actually cheaper from a money standpoint than the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, which is great. And a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage is just passed up over the 3% mark. It's 3.02%, where it was at 2.99, and the 52-week low on that was 2.85. So what's that mean? Still ridiculously low rates where things are really, really good there. A lot of people can actually afford more than they think, and that's kind of one of the things that where you're seeing anything that's in the small price range, let's say $75,000 below, even $100,000 and below, a lot of cash deals we're seeing on that. Anything that anybody's buying, they can get such a great rate. They can buy a $150,000 plus house and have really, a mortgage payment of $750. So that's kind of something that's important to know. Make sure that your agent that you're using knows how to make sure they can navigate to that mortgage market, and they have great people on their team that can help with that process.
Okay. Well, a lot of great numbers to delve into there. Remember, if you'd like to try to get in touch with Blake to find out a little bit more about what you just heard, it's easy to do. Call him at 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Coming up in just a minute, going to be checking in with a lot of good stuff, including the success stories and your hot buyer alert. That's coming up in just a second. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
You want your home sold on time and for the most money without all sorts of excuses? Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and when I had to sell my home, I went through several agents who all had good ideas with outline. If we get back on this, will be in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I live in Myrtle Beach, West. I'm called Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Blake has a marketing system that reaches buyers from around the U.S. and around the world, and week after week he attracts hundreds of buyers. That's incredible. And that's why he can guarantee to sell your home. The price and the deadline is good with you, or he's going to buy. Plus, you don't really need this with Blake. He doesn't live up to the contract. You walk away free. It's really no wonder why Sean Hannity and I, along with real estate tycoon and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran, endorse them. Call Blake Sloan right now. 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website. That's blakesguarantee.com. blakesguarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 or Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on WRNN.
It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan, and Blake wants to let you know about this hot buyer alert going on right now. Blake and his team working with just a huge amount of home buyers looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. If you have one anywhere in the range between $150,000 to $3.5 million, if you're even thinking about selling, contact Blake immediately. He needs inventory. 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. And there are a lot of people who are online right now at Blake's website looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. They're coming back not just once every week, once every few days, several times a day, because they want to be the first person in line to be able to find some of the haunted properties that are out there. The current number of people who are actively looking for homes on Blake's website, over 23,000. Actually, the number, I wrote it down, 23,633 active home buyers, Blake. That's a lot.
Massive, right? We see it growing every single week, and that's kind of how we do that. Get that question a lot, and that's probably one of the most impressive things that we do when we sit down with a client. We go to the back end of our website, and they're like, "Holy cow!" When they see the sources and how they do it in all different places online and Google, we get them from all over the world, China, Dubai, Northeast. So how we have so many buyers, it has to do with my business model. So our business model is totally different. That's what got us featured at Forbes, Wall Street Journal, all those things. As we flipped upside down, that's something I can show you one-on-one. But long story short, that allows us to outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from literally a marketing dollar standpoint, which in turn gets us more exposure, which in turn brings us more buyers, right? So a large team of buyers agents, and they're following these buyers all the time, and they're hustling, pushing. They actually push it, right? One of the biggest complaints I get from people who have their house in the market with somebody else is, "Hey, I listed with my agent, and I just never heard from them again. I listed, I think all they do is put it in MLS, and they just let somebody else sell it, or I think they put it in MLS, they were trying to push something else that was a higher price, and they did not push my house," right? And that goes back to the flaw in the business model for most 99% of agents out there. You have one single person trying to do everything. That's like, they try to work with buyers, they try to do sellers, they try to do marketing, they try to do admin, they try to do contract to close. That's like having the same person at McDonald's through the front register, the French fries, and a drive-thru at the same time is not effective. That's why there's 50% failure rate here, right? So, long story short, with our model, our agents are able to follow up with them consistently. They specialize in working with buyers only. We have listing people that work with listings only, so it allows us to segment that. But the bottom line is, I can now spend more money to acquire a buyer client. I can spend more dollars to acquire each client than someone else because I have a system in place that follows back up with them. So, like right now, we have 23,633 on the site right now, Tim Powell. And these aren't people that just came one time and went away. Like Tim's been here 112 visits. Eric Ballard, been here 233 visits. James Lester, been here 403 visits. Brand new one, Dave McCall, been here 50 visits already. So they're buyers who come here and have an account with us. They search continuously. So the reason I say that, because if you're thinking about selling and you didn't get sold before, if you've been listening to me for week after week after week, just call me. 843-8-WAY-SOLD. I work with a couple select clients myself each week. We also have another listing partner of mine, Randy, that everybody kind of works with too. So if you want to reach out, call us, 843-8-WAY-SOLD. You'll talk to Joe, who's our VIP concierge, and he's able to set up a time with me, or Randy or somebody to have a consultation with us. If you want me, request me. We'll see if we can work something out there. We do just take a select few. So if you're thinking about calling, go ahead and call now. Call early so we can get you in there the first of this week. Or at least have a free, like I said, there's no pressure. We do it from a consultation standpoint. At this point, we have enough business. There's never any pressure. We go through the whole thing. Like I said, you guys heard my success story a few weeks ago with Joe McCauley. I told him one time, "Hey, look, it's probably not right now." And we waited 5 months. Boom, he was ready. The market numbers came up to where it needed to be, and we got it sold quickly. So that's something that's really cool. We have a ton of buyers right now. If you're thinking about selling, you've been thinking about selling, if you had it on the market, and you've been listening to me, or if you're driving through town right now, pick up your phone and call me, 843-808-SOLD. Save me in your phone as Blake Sloan, or just save me as Sold, and just call me. Tell your friends about it as well. So that's kind of something there. Also, remember, we also do commercial real estate. We do lots, all kind of stuff as well from that standpoint. If you want, we have a recent success story, too, that we just had a client this week. This is why it's so important to kind of explain how it works. We went through our whole process. So a lot of it has to do with, we advise them on what to do, things they can do to fix up. If they want to, we have two different strategies. One's kind of an as-is strategy, which we do all the time. One's more of a repair strategy, which is get you maximum amount of dollar for it, right? And I went through basically the repair strategy, got professional photos, launched our huge marketing plan, had 12 showings and 2 offers in 3 days, and got it under contract over asking price. So another example, week after week after week I do this. So that we mentioned, I think, last week, the house we just had Blossom for Stephen Harris, had it under contract, listed on Thursday, had it under contract on Monday at full asking price, $229,000. So we have story after story after story. We got to go through. How much time we got left?
About 3.5.
Okay. I want to get to this really important thing here really quick. My meeting and my time I got to spend with Damon John.
Yeah, sure.
Are you familiar with him, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he's on Shark Tank. He's worked over $250 million. He created all kind of different businesses. He started with FUBU from nothing in his house. It was amazing to hear the story, but he kind of gave me some key things I took away. And one of the things he told me, this is kind of part of how our core values work in our company too, but responsibility is taken that can't be given. And that's something that's so true. He talks about, people in your team, people that work for you, they have to level up and take that responsibility themselves. Even if you give it to that person, they have to step up and take it. Another thing, too, he went through, successful people only blame one person in life, and that's themselves. They take ownership, where most people see who aren't successful, you see that this constant, failure they run into is they tend to have a victim mentality and tend to everything, their life happens to them. I post about this on my Facebook too. Anybody can always look me up on Facebook, Blake Sloan. Friend me, check out my videos. I post a lot of videos on there. A picture of me and Damon John's on there too. But definitely look me up and friend me on there if you want to. We have a lot of cool videos and stuff I share all the time. But he gave me these 5 things he called a sharp point, which is cool. One, set a goal, right? Make sure you have a clear goal where you're going. Most people don't take the time to slow down, to speed up. Most people just want to go strictly for whatever that is. Or most people just let life happen to them without having a clear goal in place. That's the key, most important part. Number 2 is do your homework. And this is a key thing. Most people just try to set a goal and they go after it without having a real strict written plan in place. And what they do is they just kind of go through the motions and react to what happens to them, so they're not being purposeful in how they react and how they go through life. And we train our agents the same way. They have a purposeful day based on the ideal calendar they have from that standpoint. Another thing she has is amor. How do you say it? Amor? It's Italian. Amor, you call it. It's basically loving what you do. It's an Italian word. Amore, I don't know. It's kind of one way he told me. I took it there. Love what you're doing, right? No matter what you're doing, make sure you love it. Find a way to do it. In our business, it gets rough sometimes. There's going to be times you hate real estate, right? But it's the most rewarding thing ever if it's done right, through that right process. So make sure you have gratitude for that too. Number 4, remember that you are the brand, right? So I get a lot of business owners that work with us that we love to. Remember, you are the brand, right? Your name affects everything. That's why I'm fanatical about making sure our clients are have over-delivered to. If they're not, I step in and find a way to make it right for our agents if there's anything there. And the one thing, too, I thought was really cool he talked about is keep swimming. No matter what, things are going to happen. Bad stuff's going to happen to you in business and life. And the one key thing that most people do is they give up too early. And he gave a really cool story where he actually had $5,000 in his name, and he went to LL Cool J to his house, waited outside his house for him, got LL Cool J to take a picture in his clothes. Right. He only owned 10 shirts with actually the food on it, and he took a picture of him, took it back off, and long story short, he spent $2,500, put in an ad, took $2,500, went to this magic convention where they sell, a trade show, right. Sold $300,000 worth of orders just from that right there. He'd already mortgaged his house, his mom mortgaged his house, so I can get through it. So a lot of cool stuff. I'll post on my Facebook. Hit me up on Facebook if you want to go, BlakeStone.com. And if you're thinking about selling, call me, 843-808-SOLD for sure.
All right. Well, a lot of good stuff in there. And if you'd like to go on to BlakeStone.com to find out more about what you've been hearing, that'd be the place to go. Or you can call Blake, 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Appreciate you tuning in this week and getting all the latest information about what's going on in the market and what you should be doing and not doing as far as buying and selling. What you should be doing is talk to Blake. 808-SOLD, that's 843-808-SOLD. Blake, we'll see you next week again for another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show.
Absolutely. I'll be here, a special guest too.
All right. We'll see you. That'll be next week right here. Same time on Hot Talk 99.5. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property,